Okay, this is a Lexus RC, okay? The RC 300H, which is a hybrid powered car. And as you can hear immediately there's no like you hear on the ad in the television. I was watching the ad last night. There was an ad on TV and it says sponsored by the Lexus RC. And there was this V8, V10 thing sailing across a huge big mountain. And I look out the window and go, Lexus RC? How come mine doesn't make that noise? Because welcome to the future of sports cars, where we have hybrid technology driving exactly what we want to do, which is good, bad, all at the same time. Because I get into a car like this, and I immediately expect to be rewarded with the sound of the thing starting up and going, vroom, and snarling out of the back when I hit the accelerator pedal, and all those cliches that come from TV programs in the 1990s, late 80s, 1990s, like Richard Hammond. I was looking last night, Men and Motors. Used to be on Men and Motors up until like 2002. And they were the cliches. It's all visual, right? We're looking at this car and going, you know what? That looks good, but the rest of it, Well, no, the handling is really good. The heated seats are really good as well. God almighty, my ass is on fire. And not because of a curry or anything, just because of the heat. But the handling is really good. The seating position is excellent. The steering is perfectly weighted. I have 3 modes here. I can go to Sport. I can go to Normal. I can go to Eco. Normal is good. Eco is a bit... it kind of makes the whole pedal thing a bit of an issue. And the Sport mode is... I get it. Sport's kind of cool. It adds a sort of... It feels like it's adding horsepower to the experience. I really rather like the car. Over the last few days now I've had it. I wasn't actually even supposed to have this car. I was supposed to have a totally different car, but ploughing championship got in the way of that one. Over the few days I've had it, it's grown on me. For a car I just didn't expect to get, it really has grown on me. The problem is, I think, that the interior, the fixtures and fittings feel kind of old-fashioned. They feel that the whole system there feels old, in a good way, feels kind of old-fashioned. And the reason I say a good way is because it's really clear what you're supposed to do. There's a lot of buttons here, but nothing I can't cope with, and there's a CD player. A CD player in a 2017 car. I've heated seats. I have an automatic gearbox. You don't really notice the CVT sound all that much. You do if you start poking around and pressing buttons and things and going to sport mode and press your foot down. But it's got get up and go. Like, it's not like that noise does nothing. It does something. Not quite sure what, but it does something. It definitely makes the car go a little bit faster. Look, I'm not bowled over by it. I'm not saying that you're going to replace your 3 Series with this thing, or, that's not really in my thinking. But there is a huge problem at the moment in that people will go out and buy a sporty looking car in diesel, right? So they go out and they buy a 2-litre turbo diesel thing, and they put a body kit and 21-inch alloys, and it looks fantastic, but realistically, it's still a diesel. At least this is a petrol. At least you can go places and meet petrol heads and go, you know what, I drive a petrol. I drive a Lexus. And it's something a little bit different on the road as well. It's not like it has to be, it's not like any other version of a sports car. Now you might notice I have a little cup here in the middle of it, which the cup holders do work. The door pockets are tiny, and the back seat is very small as well. There's no shopping bag hooks in the boot. There's a couple of little issues around the place that just kind of aggravate me a little bit, but I think I'd get over them because the feeling and the look, and I'm 100%, anyone long-term viewers will tell you this, I'm about 85 to 90% sure that whatever car you buy, if you're happy looking out the window at the car, you've bought the right car. That's kind of it. I know that sounds really, really kind of, wishy-washy stuff, but it's absolutely 100% true. I know guys who've had cars that are broken down outside the front door, and they're happy to look at them. They're still happy with the car. And here we are in a 2017 Lexus, the RC, and I won't say that the performance is astonishing or the car is amazing or any of those kind of things, but it just works. And at the moment, Toyota Lexus can kind of snigger behind our hands because we're in the midst of this dieselgate and you know, everyone looking at CO2 emissions, and they're all going, God, I can't keep doing this, and the German car industry is in turmoil, and there's Lexus, who gave up diesels years ago, and Toyota, who have a good fleet of cars that are all hybrids. Like I started getting views and inquiries on my Toyota Auris HSD video, which is the hybrid version of the Toyota Auris. So, and that's a couple of years old, that video. So people are really starting to pay attention to what's happening now in the environment and what's happening with diesels and whether people need a diesel or not. And probably 99% of you that own a diesel today probably don't need one. And anyone who thinks that a diesel engine now is not harmful to the environment, and you know, I saw a comment the other night from one guy who said any modern diesel is much better and should be, you know, right up there with petrol. It isn't. It really isn't, in fairness. A diesel, years ago, I've made so many videos about this, it breaks my heart to have to say it again. A diesel is more expensive to do everything with. Okay, it's more expensive to service, more expensive to buy initially. It's worth a little bit more going out, but only because it's more expensive to buy initially. That's why it's worth more going out. But it probably won't be worth more going out in the near future. If you're not considering a hybrid, a petrol, or an electric car in the next 3 or 4 years, you're going to miss out. And I mean that in a bad way for you as a diesel owner. I'm not trying to cause a panic. I'm just telling you, right now the UK is looking to dump all the diesel cars onto Ireland that it possibly can, because nobody wants diesel in England. And at the same time, we're looking at diesel over here like it's the solution to everything still. And the majority of people are going, oh, I can't. The electric car won't do what I want it to do. Here's a hybrid. There's plenty of hybrids out there. Volkswagen have an e-Golf, which is an electric Golf. They've done that too. They've got a hybrid version of the Passat. They're all coming, and there's more coming on the way. Now is the time to get rid of your diesel and move on. Just get over it. I'm sorry, it's over, but we have to move on. It's like, you know, that long-term relationship where you're going, it's not you, it's me. I've changed. We've got to move on. Well, this car is aimed at a very strange market, a market necessarily that doesn't kind of exist in Ireland, so to speak. There is an element of it there in Ireland. There is certainly people who would consider a car like this, but it is a two-door sports car. I love the dashboard. That looks like a mechanical dashboard till you touch the button and it completely changes into something totally different, which is really cool. For a lot of the time that I've been driving, this car is electric. It goes into EV mode, and it's so efficient at doing it, you just don't notice it's done it. It just happens, and away you go. I've used a quarter of a tank of petrol in 200 kilometres. Less than a quarter, it would be less than a quarter of a tank of petrol. I've done about 7 litres per 100 kilometres, which isn't great for a hybrid. The Prius does a lot better. Prius does like 4 litres per 100 kilometres, but remember, you're buying into a sort of a sporty imaged car, which means it releases more of the horsepower to you, which means it's not after efficiency. I spent most of the time in normal mode, not eco mode. I found normal mode just a nicer mode to get along with, but you know, stick it in eco mode and see how it does there. Probably going to do a little bit better. The letdown is, I suppose, this system up here, which is a little bit finicky at the best of times, I have to say. You know, that's a radio there, but it's not great now, Toyota and Lexus, I have to say. It's not the worst one I've ever used. I'm just trying to get out here now without getting written off on the right side. But it's not the best. Let's be serious. That system that you've got going on there, the entertainment system, is a bit old-fashioned looking, and it's not great, but you'll get used to it. I like that there's a real mechanical clock. I like the air conditioning system that works perfectly. Dual zone climate control works ideally. The back seats, I had to move forward to allow my 7-year-old child to sit behind me where her feet weren't digging into the back. You won't actually have to move if it's an adult, because a child's feet is off the ground and so it tend to knock against the back of the seat, whereas an adult's feet will be on the ground and under your seat and you'll actually fit them in. It's quite easy. There's memory seats in this car, which means that when you grab the seat and drag it forward, it goes forward as well to allow people in the back, and then it goes back where you left it the first time. So it's quite a nice little features, I suppose, in the car. There's some lovely little things that the car does and does incredibly well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've watched this far. If you have, hit that subscribe button, it'd be really useful, or click the like button, it'd be even more useful these days as YouTube continually changes the rules on a daily basis depending on what you're doing. Even when you've been to YouTube Ireland and got all the information, and this year, by the time you've walked out the door, YouTube has changed. So click one or the other if you wouldn't mind, it'd be absolutely lovely. But I'm delighted to have you along this far. It's been brilliant. There's plenty of other videos to watch on my channel. It'd be brilliant if you could watch them as well. Until the next time, I will see you on the far side.